It's a match that's been bittersweet for Indian fans. More bitter than sweet. Bitter because the team lost the game to South Africa. This also happened to be the highest ever run chase that South Africa have achieved in the history of ODI cricket. That to have happened in India's home, and for India now to be squared 1-1 in the series. That's why I say a bit bitter, but also sweet because you had two centurions, both very special centuries. Virat Kohli extending his record in ODI cricket, 53rd ODI ton. How consistently he's been doing that, and of course Ruturaj Gaikwad also getting his debut ODI ton. These are the sweet moments, but as I said, more bitter because you have to focus on the match. 358 is what India had managed, yet they've lost. And the biggest question on everyone's mind is going to be, how did India allow those many runs to be chased down? Well, I'm not defending the Indian team. I'm not offering any excuse, but the fact of the matter is, matches like these are pretty much decided at toss. I mean, the fact that India is not winning the toss is an entirely different matter. 20 tosses they've lost in a row in ODI cricket between three different captains. What explains that? Frankly, I have no answer. In fact, mathematical geniuses also can't come up with an answer because this is unprecedented. Anyway, be that as may, the fact is that when you lose the toss in conditions where there's so much of dew, you are up against it. I feel that the team that wins the toss and then decides to bowl starts with a 60-40 advantage even before the first ball is bowled, and that unfortunately has happened to India in both ODIs so far. That's another matter that India won the first ODI in Ranchi. That's because they had to play so much better than South Africa to achieve that. If any team that's chasing with these conditions that you get of dew this time of the year, unless they commit harakiri, unless they do silly things, most competitive teams like the one you have in India at the moment, in a very competitive South African team, they should be able to chase those totals down. Now, what does the dew really do? Why am I saying that? See, many factors that would have gone against the Indian team because of that dew. One, if you saw the Indian team bat in Raipur, the pitch was a bit tacky, it was a bit slow, so stroke making wasn't very easy for India to be doing that. That stroke making became even tougher after the 34th over, because remember, now you've got a new rule where only one ball is going to be used, and in those dry conditions that they were, one ball, old ball, it is going to be very tough for the batting side to be scoring runs. Plus, the bowlers that are bowling in dry conditions have that much more advantage of bowling well. They can have control, and we saw, for example, case of Maharaj getting a bit of turn, a bit of grip from the pitch. So the South African bowlers also benefited. Now, with the dew around, batting became much easier in the second inning. Ball was coming onto the bat much more nicely. Then that 34th over, when you just have that one ball, usually a drier ball, one ball gets so old, batting becomes tough in the final phases, the death overs. But here, in this case, if you're batting second, a wet ball doesn't really slow down play, and batting continues to be easy. So as I said, and then the Indian spinners will not get that kind of purchase, whether you're Kuldeep Yadav or a Ravindra Jadeja, because of a wet ball, because of a pitch that allows the ball to skid through. So many factors that will go against the Indian team, and I think that's the biggest difference, that the fact is any team batting second is going to benefit. The debate is on what should be done. I think the best solution would be to have a 11:30 a.m. start, finish the game by 8:30. That way you can ensure there's parity between the two teams, and toss does not become a very crucial factor. That said, with that aside, I still think it was a golden opportunity for India to finish this ODI series 2-0. Why? Just little things if they had gotten right. Let's go back to the second half of India's batting. If you look at the 40th over mark, India had scored more runs than South Africa. Agreed. Conditions for India, as I said, after 34th over can get tough, but 27 deliveries that Jadeja batted instead of 24, had he got 34, 35 runs, which is also not expecting the moon. I think you would have got 10-15 runs more than what you got. That could have been a match-winning total. So I think that's the area. Washington Sundar not firing, Ravindra Jadeja a slowish inning. I think that's crucial. And on the other hand, you had a KL Rahul batting at 150 strike rate. So it told you that if you did try and be adventurous, if you did time the ball really well, you could have scored at that pace. I think that's where India fell a few runs short. KL Rahul later said after the game that because of the toss, it's so crucial. We had thought and decided that we need to get 20-25 runs more than the par total. So I think that is a target that India failed to set. That was one thing. The other thing, India had a great opportunity. Prasidh Krishna, once he got that wicket of Bretsky, from there on India had a chance, and then you had Tony de Zorzi pull up his hamstring. You already had Nandre Berger who had gone off while they were fielding. So not much of the batting was left. There was still about 20 odd runs to get. I think that was another clutch moment, and India got another wicket there. South Africa wouldn't have had too many batting options. You could have won the game from there. Fielding, again, very poor fielding throughout the game. That would have cost India about 20-25 runs. Once again, Dew would have played its role, but I think that also proved to be a crucial factor between why India could not wrap up the series here compared to South Africa 1-1, and we're going to be going into a disaster, and it's going to be going into a decider, and it's going to be disastrous. That's what I meant to say. If India loses ODI series, having already lost the Test series. Anyway, focusing on this game, the bright spots for India in batting: Virat Kohli, Ruturaj Gaikwad. Let's talk about Virat Kohli. And again, if consistency had another name, it'll have to be Virat Kohli. We keep talking about how is it that a player that's not playing continuous cricket throughout the year, plays only one format, how can he be he'll take time, he needs to play more matches to get into the groove, to get into the rhythm. Virat is showing no matter what, I can do it day in, day out. I think Dale Steyn summed it best when he was analysing Virat Kohli's innings, and I really like that analogy. He said Virat Kohli in ODI cricket is much like my grandmother, who knows how to cook one recipe, and nobody can cook that recipe better than the grandmother, and it doesn't matter the age. When the grandmother was 50, she cooked it as well. At 60 also she's cooking that well. At 70 also she's cooking at that well, because she has really mastered the art of making that particular dish. That's her speciality. She knows it at the back of her hand, and so no matter the time, no matter how many decades have passed, she still remains the best. And I think that's perfect for Virat Kohli. No matter the situation, doesn't matter whether he's playing international cricket or not, whether he's playing only one format, whether he's practicing on a regular basis or not, does not matter. ODI cricket, just put him there. He knows how to get 100. That's exactly what I did. And I think his mastery was on display here. Two things that really stand out in this version of Virat. Ever since he's come for these two ODIs, one thing you've noticed, he's hitting a lot of aerial balls. That's not something he would do in ODI cricket very often earlier. He's hitting a lot of sixes, taking his chances. One of his first attacking shot in this particular innings was also a six. So he's being far more adventurous than we've seen him in ODI cricket. That's one change that we've seen. The other bit, see the mastery. The pitch in Ranchi was much flatter, much easy for him to bat on. But this pitch, as I said, was slightly slowish. But did he make you realize that? If you were watching him bat, could you have realized that? No. That's how good he is. That's where he brings his experience into play. That's how he adjusts so fast basis what the conditions are on offer, and that's why he's a master of ODI cricket. As I said, not ideal when he gets his 53rd ODI 100 and Indian team loses. Talking about getting 100 and Indian team losing, taking nothing away from Ruturaj Gaikwad. I think he's getting a few chances. He's making the most of it. He got his debut 100. He also doesn't get to play a lot of ODI cricket. His first ODI was 3 years ago, and in that 3-year period he's only played 8 ODIs, so he doesn't get too many chances. Injuries has also been a concern, so really happy for him that he got his 100. I was looking at a record. We keep talking about Virat Kohli's record. Gaikwad now has the highest average in list A cricket for any cricketer ever. He's gone past the famous Michael Bevan from Australia when it comes to list A average. That includes ODI, one-day internationals, as well as list A matches at first class level. So That combined, he has the highest in the history of cricket. Nobody is ahead of Ruturaj Gaikwad. Tells you how a consistent performer he is. I know batting out of position, opening is the slot where he often plays at, but I think this 100 and number 4 might do him a lot of good, because opening, if he got hundreds, he knows he's going to be replaced sooner or later. There's Jaiswal there anyway. Shubman Gill will come back, but in long term, maybe 4 could be an area he could target. Shreyas Iyer at the moment is the incumbent. I know he's injured, but once he's fit, he'll definitely walk into this team. But we don't know when he's going to come. And if that's the case, if this injury layoff is a bit longer, who knows, Ruturaj might get a few more chances. So at number 4, he's got that 100. It is going to serve him very, very well. Do give us a like on the video if you're enjoying our content. Do leave a comment as well if you have other points that I may have missed out or are contrary to what I may have mentioned here. Subscribe to Sports Today for more sports related content. For the moment, Nikhil Naz signing off.